A very warm welcome to you as you join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuluko. It's a brand new week, brand new episode of the program. Today we are back with the acting executive chairman of the Federal Revenue Service because when you talk taxation, it's not easy to stay far away from people like him. The acting executive chairman is a quintessential taxman. Mr. Ogbeson is somebody who, so to say, has seen it all. Somebody who has been in the system for more than 3 decades. Mr. Ogbeson, you're welcome to Tax Matters.
Thank you very much. Always happy to have you.
We thank you for once again welcoming us into your office so soon after the last time. But we can't keep too far away from you. Again, we want to ask you, what is the focus of your administration? What will be the areas of emphasis towards shoring up revenue?
In the service, we have what we call a strategic plan, which every year we review. The focus is always efficiency, and we strive to improve better than the previous year's performance. I understand the system very well, and I know that a lot of people outside there talk about us in positive light and terms, but those of us who are inside know that we still have a lot of work to do. So what do we need to do? We start with that structure where we are not talking together. We are not enjoying the benefit of synergy. How can we be effective? How can we be efficient? Okay, so that's the starting point. I took a look at it. In a tax system, a tax administration system, there are core functions that, of course, will drive us to an excellent point. You have what you call returns and payment processing. It's all about getting returns. You remember there was a time you have assessment department, collection department. Self-assessment came on board, and we then realized that there was no need talking about collection and assessment anymore because self-assessment is about filing your return and at the same time paying. That's what returns and payment processing is all about. We have what you also call filing and debt enforcement. At the commencement of the integrated system, many of our people did not understand what is filing and debt enforcement. It is about filing enforcement, debt enforcement.
They are two different things.
They are two different things, but what brings them together or bind them is enforcement. So a lot of people at that time thought that will signify collection of yesteryears, and the returns and payment processing will be assessment of yesteryears. So there was confusion because I know that collection and assessment are already situated with returns and payment processing. So all you need to do with filing and debt enforcement is to make sure that where you fail to file on time, there's somebody reminding you before the due date, failing which he imposes penalty. But that used to be the function of assessment people. So you can see how the new system, the integrated system, has taken functions away from assessment, relocated it to collection, and taken away from collection and situated it in assessment. A bit of confusion, but you only need to understand what it is and what is the intention. And if you fail to pay, now that's about debt. You fail to pay after 30 days or 60 days, depending on the type of assessment. There's someone there again to enforce payment. So it's about enforcement of filing. Because if you do not have the returns, how can you do proper assessment? Information is power. Information is wealth. You need to have information to be able to assess your taxpayer very well. So one leg here is looking at how to enforce filing and how to enforce prompt payment. The other is looking at your returns and the payment system. So those are critical tax administration functions. The third one there is taxpayer services. What's the value in running after taxpayers but not educating them or engaging with them so that they can be on the same page as you are. If taxpayers know as much as I know, the job is almost done. I don't think it's best practice today to start running after your taxpayer. Why are you running after them? System will do everything for you now. Even they themselves don't need to come to the office, because from the comfort of their bedroom, they can interact with you and get responses. You will also understand that in the self-assessment tax regime, the beauty of it is that you're not running after them. Just take the returns as they have filed. Trust is the bedrock of self-assessment. But that's not to say that occasionally, if you do risk profiling and the system is telling you that you need to keep an eye on a particular taxpayer because something in his return doesn't gel, it flags it. It says, go after him. Go and look at what he has filed. The objective is not to penalize him, but to correct what ill he has done, or to correct the wrong filing. That's why audit becomes a tool for compliance. And compliance is about encouraging taxpayer to work with you, to partner with you, so that you can be on the same page. I think the point I'm trying to make here is that for many years, we have been fighting with taxpayers. Okay, so we are going to do something different this time around. I and my team, we will not fight with taxpayers again. We will engage with them. The people who will give me information about their operation, I will collaborate with them. I need third-party information to be able to do assessment properly. Why do I have to wait for a taxpayer to assess him? If I'm using ICT to get information from every source, and before he comes before me, I already can have a feel of who he is. Let me give you an example. Banking sector. Everyone does business in the economy. You issue check, you receive money, you earn salary, you go to the shop. If I can have a good agreement, working relationship and collaboration with the bank, all the banks, credit consumer units, all those who are generating ATM cards for purchases, supermarkets, hotels. If I can have a working arrangement with them, and remember in the banking sector, NIBS is there to drive the working of that platform. If those information are uploaded into the ITAS system that we're driving now, is it going to be difficult for me? Everything will be there so I can have an idea of how much income you've got at a particular time. And I can make a projection to the end of the year. If you are in employment and you're getting salary January, February, March, April, May, June, I have an idea about your income for 6 months. I can make the same projection to the end of the year. If I have an idea of the kind of consumption you are making, of course, you have to explain the sources. That's the kind of thing I want. My direction is to reorganize our function in such a way that we can enjoy benefit of synergy, which will eventually deliver efficiency and effectiveness. The departments must speak to themselves. And what I have done in the areas of audit now is to say, let's begin with taking audit function away from the present tax offices. Look at it. In one tax office today, whether it is large, medium, or small, one person in that office who is the tax controller, he supervises the general tax administration. That same person supervises the functions of audit. So he could tell the auditor, don't go there or go there. Where's the independence of the auditor? It's not guaranteed. The same man who made the assessment is unable to collect the assessment within 60 days. He sits down there. He raised it. He won't go after them. He could even be pretending to be going around. They are his brothers. They are his friends. Can he force them? No. So I said, take audit out. Let me staff audit with qualified people. Chartered accountants and brilliant tax officers. Let the two of them be working together. The aim is not to disrupt taxpayer business, but rather to be able to correct them I cannot defend a situation where you keep going to the premises of a taxpayer every year and you are raising the same issues as you raised the previous year. So what compliance issues are you putting on the table? So that's for audit. The same thing with debts. For as long as we have filing and debt enforcement in the field offices, my position is that you allow that office to collect his debt within 60 days. If after 60 days he is unable to collect, let that debt move automatically to a different group who all their life are devoted to running after debtors. I will give them the power to be able to place lien on the asset of any company. I will be able to tell them, look, you have my support and it's there in the law, to impose substitution arrangement with anyone who I know is holding the fund of the deviant taxpayer. So what we have done is created 10 regional debt offices.
10?
10. Each region will focus on the debts within their region. And of course, here you have about 10 tax offices in a particular region. By the time you add the large tax offices and the medium, it comes to about 12, 15. So that's their focus there. That's all they do in their life, run after those debts. Unlike leaving this thing to just one man and the headquarters alone. I now have distributed the functions. I'm going to put officers who will work with them, not 5, not 10, real number. That is the total staff strength of FRS today. I put about 1,000 on audit. I put another 1,000 on debt management. I put about 800 on taxpayer services at the regional level. And let about 1,005 continue to do the regular looking for taxpayers, taking their returns. And then something more phenomenal in all this arrangement is the fact that I recalled all deputy directors who are on the field. Because these are the leaders. By the time we are gone, they are the ones who will be taking over from us. Why will I shut them away in the field offices? They are away from us at the headquarters. Bring all of them back. They are leaders. They are strategic organizers. They are the ones I will use in audit. They are the ones I will ask to lead debt recovery. They are the ones who will lead taxpayer services. The rest will be at the headquarters working with the directors. What that means is that you'll have only assistant directors and senior managers in the field collecting taxes for us.
Now, what you have done of necessity has made it imperative to post people around, Have you found suitable people within the system for all those things that you have done, the realignment that you have done?
They are my officers. Where will I get officers? It's from the same system. We are not recruiting. So I must make use of what I have. For audit function, I made sure I put experienced tax auditors. 98% of them are chartered accountants. Who is better positioned than they? All of them, chartered accountants, with 2 brilliant tax officers. For debt management, who am I to put there? Are the same people who have been running tax administration in this country, who are tax controllers themselves. All I've said is don't do assessment work anymore, go after debts. They are also deputy directors. And the ones who I think that have flair for talking, communicating the message of compliance, tax payments generally. I put them in taxpayer services.
In all that you have said so far, it gladdens our hearts that the taxpayer is at the center of everything. So, this realignment, this reorganization, what will it mean to the average taxpayer?
See, the vision of this service is to deliver improved taxpayer services, tax delivery services, in collaboration with other stakeholders. Now, if I organize my audit function very well, it simply means that there will be no disruption, at least there will be minimum disruption to the taxpayer's business. And I'm sending sensible officers to the premises of taxpayers. They have welcomed this for a long time. So they cannot complain. In fact, they will be saying kudos to FRS because of this initiative. Debt management. When I send officers out to go collect and engage with them, they are talking to them. It's the extreme case of wanting to place a lien on your asset. At the beginning, they are organizing instrumental payment arrangement for you, which most of the taxpayers themselves don't know. That's why a senior officer is leading it. They will understand the concerns of the taxpayer himself. They need to. Otherwise, you don't come back running to headquarters that, no, we must take this company to court or we must place a lien on his asset. That's the extreme action. But before then, a series of other things you can do by way of intervention to help them out. And then taxpayer services. Of course, taxpayer, that's going to beautify the environment. It will promote investment-friendly environment. Because there, you'll be with them all the time, you understanding their needs, the various associations, you go to them, get to know their problems, come back, work with all the relevant functions, develop programs that can help them towards true compliance. So all these actions, at the back of my mind, I'm focusing improvement to tax delivery services. It's all in favor of taxpayers.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, waiting be this.
The deduction now for withholding tax.
Withholding guinea. Look, if you not pay me my correct money today, hey, Munu get me half for.
But madam, should be your company paying income tax.
Yes, that one na enough load for me to carry. Why you won't come add join them again?
You see, withholding tax now advance payment for income tax. So when you do some kind job like contract, we go remove small from them when we won't pay you.
And when I go contract, I bet tell me another.
No. We must pay the money to FIRS within 30 days, and they go give us withholding tax credit note to take show say you don't pay part of your income tax in advance.
So
now to help make the money where you go pay at the end of the year small.
So this withholding tax one thing, it be like part payment of where.
Exactly, madam.
I beg you, give me my check.
Remember, come collect your credit note.
Withholding tax, now for we own good. FIRS, it pays to pay your tax.
Welcome back. We are still on to Tax Matters, and we are with the Acting Executive Chairman of the Federal Revenue Service, who is also the Chairman of the Joint Tax Board. Mr. Ogbeson, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
We know that you have the love of the taxpayer at heart, and that's where we stand too. And all this reorganization, all these postings, realignments are all geared towards making life easier for the taxpayer. But we tell you, the taxpayers have some challenges. Withholding tax credit note, for example, acquiring it, getting that credit for money deducted at source from their payments is a problem. Tax clearance certificates, they claim that when they think that they have done their bit, there are roadblocks on the way. They don't easily give them their TCC. Are you taking steps to address these problems?
All right, thank you again. It's a wonderful opportunity to be able to showcase what we are doing currently. All the issues you raise are connected in one way or the other. In an environment where ICT is driving our operation, there should actually be no problem. Beginning with TIN, because that is the starting point. What we are preaching is that every taxpayer, be you a limited liability company or an individual, you need to have a tax identification number which is unique to you alone. And so, before now, FRS has its own unique identifier. Just like Lagos, each of the states, we're running their platform. They all have their database. Sometime in 2005, we went for a treaty negotiation between Nigeria and Spain. And we saw what they have under Article 27 when it came, or it discussed the issue of recovery of taxes, exchange of information. The Article 27 is actually exchange of information, but under it, it talks about helping the other contracting state to recover money owed or taxes owed. So we love it. Our own provision before then, that our article had only 3 or 4 provisions. Their own had 8. So then chairman saw this is really, really beautiful. Let's adopt it. So in the course of the negotiation, we say, well, we don't need to negotiate this. We have accepted all your positions. They say, no, you can't accept our position like that. We know your limitation in your country. We know the kind of fiscal structure that you have. There is unitary, one central tax system for the whole country. But here, you have different state authority collecting some prescribed taxes within their jurisdiction. After explaining to her, we then saw that we have a big job in hand. How are we able to provide information about a taxpayer, an individual who is located in Maiduguri? Assuming he spent some time in Spain and he ran away on account of taxes, or for whatever reason he lives there but he has accumulated taxes unpaid. Because that's the goal, that we will help them recover that taxes from the taxpayer in Nigeria who was one time a resident of their country. That was when the idea was birthed, that we need to have a system that will enable us have information about all taxpayers. Since then, we started this unique identifier, which metaphors into TIN at the end of the day. So what that says to us is every Nigerian having a TIN, and that system or that platform can be hooked into the banking system or can be hooked to our own ITAS platform. Then it means that information will continuously be uploaded onto our platform and we'll have information about all of them. That's the meaning. So if payments are made by MDAs or by corporate entities on behalf of a taxpayer, that information hits the platform. We can see it. And from there, the analyzer analyzes and translates it to his account. It's easy. Because there's a mining engine. There's an engine that mines the information. Once it is mined, it transfers it straight into the account. If you make a payment, it's a credit. It goes to the positive side of your account. If you are owing or FRS is reading an assessment on you, it goes to the left-hand side. It's debit credit. At the end of the day, there's a handshake and you can get your balance. You see, the problem today is because we are managing both manual and electronic together. That's why we have this crisis. So far, so good, because today, taxpayers do not need to struggle too much anymore looking for credit note. There are still pockets of complaint here and there, but they will tell you it's better than yesterday. As the payment is made on our behalf by the banks, and your TIN is there, it's transferred there straight away. When the officer presses the keys, he can see that they've made some deductions in your favor. Also, there's a credit note. It's just funny that our officers are looking for hard copy. So they start tossing the taxpayer here and there. Oh, go and get me a copy. What are you needing a copy for when the thing is already in your system? Let's just have a system that helps us transfer that information into his account here, and then the problem is over. With our ITAS project, that is one of the deliverables. They may be complaining today, but I am seeing a greater tomorrow, a future that guarantees seamless tax operation. And at the end of the day, if you know your assessment and you have credit in your favor and the adjustment is automatically made for you to know what is the balance owed you or you owe them, and it is paid with your card, you can make your payment, online payment. The facility is already there now. The next one is TCC module. You can generate your tax clearance certificate yourself. We have a platform now that we are populating. All these people who even write to us and say, I want you to confirm for us whether this TC is genuine, they won't have to do that anymore because they themselves can log on and check through whether a particular tax clearance certificate issued is genuine or not. They don't need to be coming to us. Yes, it's already developed. And it was developed by in-house experts, not consultant. Our ICT department did it.
That indeed is greater tomorrow.
It's today. I say it's today, not tomorrow. It's already done. Yeah, greater today is already done.
We're going to hold it there. The discussion continues next episode because we are getting signals that we have to move on for the next program. Sir, the discussion continues.